What's up, YouTubers and fellow riders? Kim is back at it again in the garage, cooking up another DIY for you. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to change out your gauge cluster bezel. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I finally arrived, my new gauge cluster. A while back ago, I was working on my bike and I kind of broke one of the screws or brackets on the back of the gauge bezel. I cracked it open and tightened it down a little too tight, and yeah, ended up jacking it up. So went out, got me a new one, and today I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So let's go ahead and rip this open real quick. Let's see what we got. Alright, so this is for the 0405 Suzuki GSXR 750, and it also fits the 1000 models. I ordered this off of eBay. Got it for I think about maybe $28 or $38, somewhere around there, but I'll post that up right here so you guys can see for yourself. So this came from China, of course, like everything else does come. As you can see, it comes pretty securely wrapped, and I'm glad that they did add some plastic over it so we don't get no scratches on these plastic pieces, because they are very sensitive to scratches. So here's the back end of the cluster, and as you can see, it's just like the OEM. It's actually a good quality. It feels nice and thick. Plastic's hard. It's not cheap and flimsy, and has all the mounting points that I know to be existent on the bike. So let's go ahead and take a look at this bezel here. All right. So you might be wondering why I want to go ahead and replace this. Mine's kind of old, dull, and dingy. I've had the bike since for about 7-8 years now. I had a previous owner before that, and mine's got kind of tarnished on the outside. Yeah, you could add some armor on and dress it up with some other stuff, or even paint it if you wanted to. But I just wanted to go for strictly the OEM look. And looking at this, I mean, it's great and all. It's new. One other problem I did have on mine is on this part of the glass, it actually cracked. A rock came flying up, hit the glass, and this is a cheap plastic, so it broke it really easy, and the crack just kept growing and growing on the one that I currently have on the bike. And what I did was I went ahead and I cut that plastic piece out, took myself a piece of clear plexiglass, and I made myself a new piece and put it in there. But when I was closing everything up, I was tightening down these bolts right here, or these mounting points, and this is a very soft plastic, and it actually broke from this part, and I'll show you that later on in here. But the screw comes in from the back side from here, as you can see on these points right here, comes into this point right here, and as you tighten down, if you tighten down too much, you end up breaking this piece, and that's what happened to me. It ended up causing a gap right here. And so I just wanted to go ahead and swap it out for something newer, and here we are. So that's taking a look at this. Let's go ahead and replace it. Let me show you how to remove it from the bike. 1 second. Alright, so here's my old cluster currently on the bike right now, and as you can see, it's a little bit gray and tarred out, tarnished from the sun beating on it and whatnot, and that's to be expected after a couple years or a few years out sitting out in the sun. My bike does sit out in the open. But the part that I wanted to show you that I replaced was right here. So I went ahead and replaced this plexiglass because mine had a split that went all the way up to here, and I think I did a pretty good job of remanufacturing what they had created there. I mean, if we get in a little closer, you can see there it's a little bit dirty on the inside. So yeah, but to remove this, we only have 2 bolts to remove this, and this pops out, and on the back side we need to go ahead and pull off the clip or the wiring harness from the back side, which is on top right here. Right here we got 1 bolt here, and we got 1 on the opposite side. I already removed that one so we can go ahead and move a little quicker. And I've gotten this one already loose, but I have not taken it out, just so you guys can see for yourself. And one key note here when you're removing this, you're going to want to try and stay away from using these type of Allen keys. This is a number 4 Allen key, and I say that because when you are twisting and turning, you will scratch your stay, okay? And that's the last thing you want to. I already went ahead and removed the 2 bolts that were down here, so now all you're going to simply do is, you can see it lifts up, and you're going to pull out, and that's it. And this is something aftermarket I created, so don't mind that. Here is the wiring harness. We just need to pull back the boot, flip it over, and push the button. And it's out. Let's go back to the table. We're here back at the table. We're just going to go ahead and remove these Phillips head screws off from a belt. Now remember, I cracked one right here, and this is what I was talking about. It doesn't give me a quite complete seal. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but there's a big gap in between here. And I didn't have a problem or an issue with any type of fogging or moisture being accumulated in here. There's actually nothing really wrong with it, just for the fact that, you know, I may know about things. So let's go ahead and remove these bolts. Alright guys, so we removed all the Phillips heads. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th one is stuck in here because the bracket is broken, and I'll show you that just right now. And we can go ahead and pull this out. And as you can see, there's nothing really to it. There's that broken piece that I was telling you about. The little arm broke off from the top piece right here. And if we go ahead and take a look at what I did to fix this glass issue, just in case you happen to want to do it yourself. Like I said, I took myself a normal piece of plexiglass. I lined one side of it with tape, and I spray painted it to give me this black bezel feature, because all this is exposed. On the stock Suzuki look, this needs to be covered because it will expose the lower part of your cluster or your instrument panel right here, and it'll show all this. So this is the reason for that black line right there. So I went ahead and sprayed one side with the black paint, and the other side you leave clear, and you get that glossy effect. So if that happens to you, you want to replace it out, that's how you do it. Okay, one key note I did have here when I was trying to seal everything down, because I used such a thick glue, I didn't get a tight fit, and it caused the bezel to raise up on one end, and when I was cinching it down, I couldn't get it to cinch down all the way, because probably one, for the plexiglass was thicker, and two, due to the extra epoxy in here. Yeah, it just didn't work. But I got rid of that split for the time being, which is great. You might have the same thing going on here, where a rock scratched your glass here, this plastic, and you want to go ahead and replace it. Cheap, easy replacement, $28, not bad, from China. You can go ahead and replace that. All right, guys, so taking a look on the inside of the Suzuki cluster, it's really simple. If you ever wanted to see what it looked like on the inside, here we go. It comes out just like that once you remove all the bolts. It's very easy, very lightweight. And if you ever wanted to change your lights inside here, you can do so by adding LED lights in here if you wanted to. There is one point right here where it touches an LED. There's a couple more points down in there, and all you would simply do is just tape up those LED lights and put in your own set if you wanted to. Maybe I'll do that for a future project, I don't know yet, so we can get this to change different colors, blue, green, red, yellow, any spectrum of the RGB color. So okay, so that's that. Right, so now we're ready to reinstall this into the new housing. Let's do a real quick comparison between the new housing and the old housing. I did notice one slight difference, and you notice that this has these holes in it. I'm not sure if you can see it. And this has the exact same thing, the OEM one, but they have a little filter on here, I guess to protect any moisture or water from coming in. Not a big deal. I don't expect moisture or water to be coming in from the back side of the bike anyways, underneath the cowl, so it doesn't really bother me. I could technically just counter blend the new bezel with the old one, but I'm gonna stick with I'm gonna put the OEM stuff to the side and just only work with the aftermarket stuff. So let's go ahead and reassemble. Slap that right in. Grab the new bezel. And it's a pretty good fit. Almost identical. All right, let's go ahead and seal her up. All right, so when you make a good connection with the harness, the cluster does its normal little routine where it goes up to 16, comes back down. All right, now we're just going to simply go ahead and push it onto these 2 points here. And I have a little difficulty because I have some extra wire back there for my little switch panel, but nothing that's easily overcome. All right, she's back in. The only thing left to do is bolt her back up, and I'm all done. All right, guys, so that's pretty much going to wrap up this tutorial on how to remove and replace your instrument cluster bezel. I hope you liked this video. Go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and do yourself a favor, hit that bell button to receive my most current update. I'm always working on my bike, putting some new content out there, as simple as it may be. You know, we all were beginners at once, and sometimes we're a little afraid to take that first step into doing a repair, but I like to try to have this out there for you, and I'll keep putting content out there as long as you keep watching, man. So I'm the chemist, and I'll see you next problem.